I have a bone to pick with a lot of passport bros. Okay, I have a serious bone to pick. Okay, I have nothing against passport bros. I have something against the low tier, bottom feeder passport bros. What do I mean by that? Okay.
They can't get girls here, and then they have to like resort to going to other places to get girls, right?
Kind of. I'll tell you what I mean. I'll openly admit I'm a loser. Okay, no problem. I'll openly admit. No. Listen, let me tell you. Okay.
Damn.
It's okay. It's okay for you to be a loser. It is not okay for you to choose to stay a loser.
True.
Okay.
True. All right, welcome back to the Controvert podcast. Today we're going to talk about the low tier passport bros, and of course, I have with me again the Asian dating coach from last time, the one that made our video almost viral. If you guys haven't checked that one out, you should check it out. The Asian dating coach, scrawny Asian, whatever it was called, right?
Mophead.
Scrawny Asian teaches how to get non-Asians. What was it? Asian fuckboys. We had like 3 episodes.
We had a few. We had 3 episodes.
But before we get into our video, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Hey everyone, my name is Sebastian. I'm a pickup and dating coach. I've been actively doing pickup for a decade, and I've been coaching for 4 years, almost 5. You know, we're getting into the new year. So before we even start, happy holidays to everybody.
Great. And my name is Panda. I'm your host. So I have a question for you, Sebastian.
Shoot.
You know, it's so funny because I went to Southeast Asia just recently, bro. And I recall when I was going there and I was having a good time over there, I recall one thing that really stood out to me. Remember when you were like, the low tier passport bros, the bottom feeders, those guys are not okay. Why are they not okay?
Yeah, so basically they're using passport bros as a crutch, right? It's like a shortcut to try to get a particular result with their relationships, which is AKA laziness, right? Oh, I don't need to go to the gym. I don't need to be particularly rich. I don't need to be particularly good with women. I don't need to work on myself a whole lot.
Yeah.
So let me just go to another country and get whatever results I want, right? So they're trying to take shortcuts to the system, which in return, it's actually working against them, right? Because it's preventing them from creating good habits that can allow them to be better in life, right?
Yeah.
All aspects of life.
It's so funny that you mentioned this because as I was there, I was also thinking about, you know, the last time we had our podcast, I was thinking about how you mentioned that, and I was actually seeing it in real time, like these low tier passport bros. At about like 1 p.m., we were just walking around the street, and then we didn't see any fit white dudes on the street. Nobody that was like actually fit. They were like either really skinny or really fat. I'm not even talking about like they're in their 20s, because when we talk about passport bros, they're probably like our age, 20, 30. They go there because they're incel. They're probably like this millennial generation. I'm talking, these are passport bros that are our parents' generation, bro. You might be thinking, why is this guy talking about foreigners going out for girls, for prostitutes, for masseuses, happy endings? You might be thinking, why is this guy so weird talking about this stuff? That's random. They might just be all like businessmen working out there. Well, think about it. What is open right now? In the rain, what is open? Restaurants? Massage parlors? Businesses, right? When you see these guys on the street here in Thailand, you will just have your mind blown. They're all retirees. They're all guys who are just on vacation. There's no way in hell they're all going to like a business company for a business meeting. You gotta be out of your mind, dude. It's raining. What is the only thing that they'd be doing? Imagine being an old mother in a country you don't even know that much about, and it's 1 p.m. and you're out here girls, having these girls that you're just paying to spend time with you. Not even authentic love, just spending time with you.
in the early afternoon on a bar, like this platform on a bar where everyone can see you like an idiot, and you're just there having this girl put her hand on your in front of everyone. You're a loser. How much humiliation do you not have? You're so disgraceful that you could just have this. I'm so happy this girl is putting her hand on my and I'm just paying her to do this. What you should be doing is at 1 p.m. making a killing, then hitting the gym for your old ass motherfucking ass so that you can get fit and increase the longevity of your life. And then you go out at night to these whatever you want to go to. And then you can have your fun. But then you going at 1 p.m., what are you going to do next? 10 p.m. go again? Are you fucking out of your fucking mind?
They were 50, 60 years old, just at the bars, and they would just take like a beer and they just be chilling, looking at all the women, or they would even have a woman with them, bro. And you know what was the craziest thing that blew my mind? Me and my homie, we're at the gym, right? We're at this free gym, okay?
Yeah.
At this hotel that we were staying at. It's called the One Bay Breeze, okay? And so One Bay Breeze is on Soy 11.
Is that a nice?
Soy 11 has a bunch of like masseuses and
Oh,
that,
got
like,
it.
Dirty masseuses, okay?
I understand.
This next part I'm gonna tell you is gonna blow your f***ing mind. Watch. You see this door? What did you notice? What did you notice upon me doing that? No key card required. If I knew that, and then also there's no key card required for the elevator too, right? If I knew that, I would be coming here from like miles away or even just like a few distance away just to come to this hotel to work out with this gym equipment. None of these fat fucks are doing that because they're out f***ing bitches like a bunch of losers. That is what fucking blew my mind. I came in here with Wally and I was just like, are you serious? This door is not locked. There's no one inside. I would be smuggling my ass in here if I was like living around here. That is insane. So we were at One Bay Breeze. When we went up the escalator, went down, whatever, you don't need a key card at all. Right?
Okay.
Weird
okay.
as hell, right?
Okay.
And then we went all the way up to the top to the gym.
Yeah.
You don't need a fucking key card to go in or out. The gate or the door.
It's literally a free gym.
Literally a free gym, okay?
Okay.
These guys that have been here for years, right? They probably know this already. Knowing that there's a free gym next to you and you're still out here just at a bar drinking a beer while we're just like, we're the only ones at this gym. And that struck me. I was like, dude, if we're the only ones at this gym and then this gym is free, look at all these guys. That all makes sense. And I was just like, that is crazy. And I started thinking about Sebastian. I even had this rant on my Instagram story. I was like, look at all these dudes on the street. This guy, all out of shape. What do you have to say for that,
man? So I was on a particular chat room or forum. I'm not going to say which one. Reddit. So I posted a clip about my hot take about passport bros.
Yeah.
Right? When we talked about last time. And I talk about, oh yeah, all these low tier passport bros. I will talk down on them. I'm not kidding. Right? And they started coping. They said, oh, no. You got it all wrong, Sebastian. That's only a small percentage of passport bros.
No, bro.
Yeah, so no. That's the way they cope. That's the way they cope.
Me and my boy were the only ones that were in shape.
Yeah.
Actually, there was this black guy that eventually came to the gym.
Yeah.
And we were like, yo.
I'm not surprised it's the black guy.
But he was in shape and he knew what he was doing. He was only there for a short term. But these other passport, I wasn't even say bros.
Yeah.
These passport granddads. they were literally there. Like, I would talk to some of them. Yeah. They've been there for years. Like, we're talking decades. And they're not just there for short term. They're there for it's not short time, it's long time.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Like they have this
Yeah.
thing in Thailand. It's like, you want short time? Like, yo, they're there for a long
Like
time.
residents now, yeah.
They're
yeah,
resident. But yeah, dude, they're granddads, man. And they're granddads that just like are out of shape. When you talk to them, they're so desperate to talk to like Americans or just anyone, because I feel like, and you know, us being Asian, right?
Yeah.
A lot of white people that we talk to here, they act more superior than us here, right?
Yes.
You know, the white supremacy type of thing, that vibe. Sometimes I feel like there's like some prejudice when these white people in America, when they talk to me. But in Southeast Asia, you can tell they're so desperate to make friends, because over here, they're just like the losers growing up.
Yeah.
And it's not even they're like the standard white guys. They're like bottom tier white guys, right?
This goes back to the point on the previous podcast I said, I said, listen, if you're a winner doesn't matter where you are in life. If you're, let's just say you're in America, okay? Doesn't matter, black, white, yellow, purple, doesn't matter race, skin color, doesn't matter. If you're a winner in America, you're a winner anywhere else in life. But the opposite is the same. If you're a loser here, you're a loser everywhere else.
Correct.
Okay?
I agree.
Yeah. So that's why I keep telling guys, passport bros, it is a short-term solution. Okay?
Yeah.
Your sense of value becomes deflated overseas. Okay? It's blown up, right? When you go to these countries, yes, you get higher status, but that status is only going to take you so far.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Like, what if like a guy finds a girl overseas that he thinks, okay, I could wife this girl up, bring her over here to America because all these girls in America are trash. Like, what if he's just happy doing that? And that does happen quite a bit.
Yeah. I have no problem with that. You know, as long as, what are you talking about, the low tier passport bros or just the regular passport bro?
It could be any passport bro. Like they're low tier or they're high tier, whatever. They just feel like, I just want to find someone overseas because I just don't want to deal with any of this American fuckery.
Listen, I've had, I don't know, okay. I'll say people I know, okay. I've had people I know of, just associates. They do exactly what you say, okay. They go overseas, they find a wife, great wife, feminine, all the positive qualities, check mark. And then they bring them back to the States. Oh my God, it's majority of the time, it's a disaster, because the girl, she comes to the States, guess what? She's a 10 in the States now, right?
Oh.
She's desired by, now she's getting dudes in America just hitting her up constantly. And she gets that validation. Once she gets that validation, something clicks. She goes, oh, wait, hold on. I get treated differently here in America.
And there's a lot of guys that are way better than
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
The low, because especially for the low tier guys, right? Like I said, if you're a loser wherever you reside, you're gonna be a loser everywhere else.
So even if you bring back a girl over here, she's gonna be snatched up by some dude that's just like way better than you, right?
I have seen this countless times. Unfortunately, more times than I can count on both hands. And some of these guys, they come to me. And I'm just like, why are you coming to me? Like, you know the answer. You know the answer to this solution, right? Go to the gym, get your money up, get your status up, right? Build yourself up. These are obvious things, right? Yeah. Especially if there's in their mid 30s and up. It's like, yo, you have the resources, right? You're older, you have the knowledge, you have the experience. You're not like a kid, right? You know these things. It's just that you aren't keeping yourself accountable. You decided to try to take a shortcut. A shortcut that works temporarily. Now, if you happen to be a passport bro that took that shortcut and it worked out for you, I say congratulations, right? But I'm not for that. I don't push that, right? I push, hey, you want to be a winner. No matter where you live, what race you are, whatever your situation is, you want to be a winner. That's what I push for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I recall, like, in the previous podcast, right, you did say that you liked to go to Brazil or you like to go to like other countries to have these women, right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't that be a little bit contradicting for you to say that, but you also do that yourself?
Yeah. So I'm a firm believer in don't do what I say, do what I do, right? So when I go to these countries, I'm hitting the gym hard, man. Like, you can ask, no, my business partner, Jeff, every time we go overseas, I'm calling him up 8 a.m. Yo, we're going gym. We're going gym. We're going gym.
Yeah.
You know, and he's like, no, I don't have to. Okay. So for those of you, I'm going to give a little context. Jeff is the guy that taught me pickup. He's 5 foot. He's 5'6". Okay. He's chubby. He's pudgy. Okay. And he's Asian and he's broke. So he's hitting all the things that are working against him, but
He's your business partner for
yeah.
Gentleman,
And he's
right?
the guy that taught me pickup. This is how I knew he was legit, is because he had all these things working against him, but he was still successful with women, right? And I tell him, yo, regardless of the success you have with women, you should still continue to improve yourself. I push him all the time, you know. So when I go to these other countries, not only do I push others, but I push myself as well. Talk to any of my past students. I hit them up every morning. Yo, let's go gym.
Wait, hold up.
Let's go.
Sebastian, can
Yeah.
you do a fit check real quick?
What do you mean?
Take off that coat, man. Show them.
I'm scrawny right now. I haven't been traveling.
Show them.
Yeah.
Flex a little bit.
Flex?
Yeah.
Flex? Nah.
Okay, so you be saying you work out,
Yeah.
but your arm be looking like that.
Okay. Yeah.
So, okay, in the previous podcast, right?
Sure.
You admitted that you're a loser.
Yeah, I admitted it. Point blank. I
Okay,
admitted
you
it.
admitted you're a loser, but you still went overseas. So wouldn't you consider yourself a low tier passport bro, or do you differentiate yourself?
Well, I differentiate myself because I put in the work in terms of my game. So if you're like me, okay, if you're like me, not fit, right? You could see I'm a twig, or you're not particularly well off, you're not wealthy, you're not famous. At least work on your game. When I go overseas, I don't see guys working on their game. You know, they slack, even on that basic little aspect. They
I think
slack.
because they're paying for it, or women come to them like so easily, even if they're not paying for it. They're just looking for like a guy with more money, and then the American standard is like way much for them. Or these guys are like passport granddads that they're just retired over there, and they have all this money to just spend. It's actually not a lot. They probably get like retirement 401k, maybe like $3,000 a month, but over there it seems like a lot. And then these girls are like, oh, I want a rich guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought this up. Okay, this is a great segue. So recently, Jeff had a student. Okay, the coaches, we had a student. He's like me. Okay, he's Indian. Okay, but he's like me, scrawny. You know, he's actually fairly well off. What I mean by that is he makes about 100K. You know, a little bit north of 100K. But he doesn't practice his game. Period. He doesn't practice his game. And he's been with us for 4 years. I'm not going to say his name. Okay. I'm not going to say his name. He's been with us for 4 years. And he is so delusional. He thinks that, oh, you know, because I have money, right? Because I'm American, you know, these girls in Brazil, they should like me for me. They shouldn't like me for my money.
Okay,
and I'm like, well, that's all you have to offer. That's all you have.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk a bit
Yeah.
about. So these guys that like just think that they could just like pay a girl off because they have money. These guys, like, don't you think they have like the wrong mentality?
100%.
They think they could pay off a girl when there's like these guys who are poor as fuck, don't make that much, and are still getting more girls. Because I say this because I had a really good friend.
That's me. I'm broke.
A best friend, right? This best friend, pretty much, he kept saying all this stuff like, well, I have to pay for girls. And he was trying to encourage me, like, that's the way to do it. Like, you need to pay for a girl. And this guy was not getting any success with women. And so I think guys who think like this, they try to be like red pill, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing about trying to be red pill, like you think you could pay for the girl, like pay for everything. You're actually not really gonna get the girl if you have a really bland personality.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to talk to girls at all, you know, it's your own fault. And so let's segue into like these other guys, right? Like for example, Andrew Tate followers, okay?
Yeah.
These really red pill dudes that say it's all women's fault. Is it really all women's fault?
Is it really all women's fault? I'll say this, before you answer that question, anybody, look yourself in the mirror, okay? I'm gonna phrase it in a way where you really need to take a honest look at yourself, okay? If you were a hot girl, let's say you were a Victoria's Secret model, okay? I'll use an extreme example. If you were a really hot girl, would you date you right now? If the answer is yes, what's to stop you as a hot girl from dating someone better than the current you? Most guys, they can't honestly answer that question because their ego gets hurt. Because I'll admit it. I'll give you an example.
Before you get into that,
Yeah,
like I think a real man, he takes accountability.
100%.
He's gonna blame himself.
Exactly.
Like, okay,
Correct.
Okay, for
Correct.
Example, for me, right? Like I have a lot of inadequacies. I'm gonna be like, yeah, there is this whole feminism bullshit issue, but also I'm not like really punny like my friends. Like some of my friends, they're so funny. Like they're so punny that like I'm like, I want to be like that. Like when I talk to girls, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't have that energy. Like
You're
to
right.
always just think of really punny stuff. Yeah, I keep saying punny because it's like pun and
Yes,
funny.
and funny,
like,
correct.
Like punny, right?
Right.
Okay, so like those guys are like really good at that stuff. And these guys are really broke. And they still get girls. They still get a lot of girls.
100%. Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
you can't just 100% like blame women
Nah.
for it. Like especially if you're like a guy who follows like Andrew Tate. I'm not saying Andrew Tate is bad or anything.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely
I just think that if you're trying to blame like women all the time, you got to take a look at your own self, and you got to look at if you're going to these places like Southeast Asia just to have a shortcut and not improve yourself. I do think being in America is great because you have the determining factor if you're actually doing something that's improving.
Correct.
You know, you have something to scale yourself right away.
Yes.
Once you start improving, you'll see right away more girls will like you. Once you start not improving or you never improve, you will never get girls. Whereas if you go like Southeast Asia, become a passport bro, you could be ugly, you could be out of shape.
Yeah.
All you have to do is have a little bit of money.
Yeah.
And you'll get the girl.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So all these dudes that are all there, fat, overweight, not looking right, looking like they smell like shit, like their hygiene's bad, and they're dressed all bummy. Like you can tell these guys, they didn't make a fortune, dude. Like they only probably got like a 401k that pays them out like $3,000 a month, and they're using it all on Thailand.
Or even if they do, right? So Jeff and I had this conversation. So we've had students that are multimillionaires, multimillionaires, okay? And Jeff and I had this long discussion. We were asking each other, like, why can't they get girls? Like, I can understand if you're a 6-figure earner, but you are multi-millionaire, hyper successful.
Yeah.
And then, so we're going back and forth. And Jeff goes, I got it. I figured out why. I go, why? He's like, because they're fucking cheap. They're multi-millionaires, but they're fucking cheap. And he goes, Sebastian, let me ask you this. No. He's like,
I don't agree with that.
So he goes, Sebastian, let me ask you this. He's like, how often do you see a rich multi-millionaire that's not cheap and can't get a single girl? And I go,
there's a lot.
I can't think of any. Well, maybe I've never personally met him.
Does he think that, for example, Elon Musk can get any girl that he wants?
he could get a lot of top tier girls. He's gotten a lot of top tier girls.
He could get a lot of top tier girls, but he can't get like every single girl.
Not every single
There's
girl.
gonna be a
yeah.
lot of girls that don't even want him because he's
Right.
like too out there.
Right. Yeah.
So money doesn't define everything. Of course, it improves your chances.
Yes, it does.
But
yes.
like,
yes.
there's just some sort of people that are just like meant to fit with some other people.
Yeah.
And that involves like character building. That definitely involves like financial building. But like, even if you have money, it doesn't dictate everything.
Yeah,
So
but well,
I
I'm speaking from just face value, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
think of it like you're a girl. Let's say you're a hot girl.
Yeah.
right? You're a hot girl. You have two choices. One, they're both multimillionaires. Okay.
Yeah.
But one is cheap and stingy as fuck, and one he will spoil you. Which one are you gonna go for? Like, I'm just speaking face value, right? Just face value, right?
I think it would depend on like the personality at that
No,
point.
I meant just face value, just that alone. We're not talking personality. We're not, right? Just face value alone, right? Because we're trying to figure out, or maybe you can help us figure it out, right? Jeff and I were trying to figure out how is it that these guys are multi-millionaires, right? Hyper successful.
Mm-hmm.
They've done everything right, textbook wise, right? They've done everything right, but they can't get girls. And all of a sudden, there's other multimillionaires that are just as, personality wise, more or less the same, right? But they get all the girls. Like, what the hell's going on? So we try to simplify everything, right? When you, I'm gonna kind of sound like a nerd, but we try to like reverse engineer everything, right? A complex situation and try to reverse engineer it to make it as simple as possible, right? So we just look at it face value. Okay, if I was a hot girl, which one would I pick? The guy that's gonna spoil me, or the guy that's just stingy as fuck, right? Yeah, because we've had students like that. That are just stingy as fuck.
Okay, but then like, I think with that you're probably inciting or encouraging like these guys that they have to spend money on girls, right? But I'm actually saying that guys don't need to spend money on girls.
Oh, absolutely not. Well, it's about finding a balance.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not saying you should fully spoil them or be completely stingy. Right?
Okay.
Yeah, you need to find a fine line, a fine balance. Right? So in pickup, we have something called a compliance test. Okay? So a simple compliance would be like if you said, "Hey, Sebastian, can you, go downstairs and get me a, glass of water?" And I say, "Oh, yes, that's a simple compliance test, right? Right? I passed the compliance test, right?"
Got it.
So in pickup, we have something called compliance test. So if I'm very unsure if this girl is worth spending money on, I'm going to run as many compliance tests on her as possible to see how far she's willing to go for me without me spending or investing a lot of money. Yeah. So if in the beginning, I'll be stingy in the beginning, right? I'll be kind of stingy, right? And once I find out, okay, she's willing to take action or go out of her way for me when I'm not spoiling her, then I'll start spoiling her because it's like, oh, she's earned it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we kind of teach, right? So, but a lot of guys, they're just full on stingy. Of course the girl's going to leave you. She's like, yeah, I'm going out of my way for you. I'm doing all this and that. And you can't even give me $1 to buy a bottle of water when I'm thirsty.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. Like, so
It shouldn't be that the guy pays for everything. Like, there should be some times where at least the girl gets like a water or something.
Yeah.
Or just like gets boba on the way home.
well, it's,
If she's okay, so for example, if the girl's at a boba shop
yeah.
and she's coming home, she knows the guy's thirsty, but the guy doesn't give her money to buy it
Yeah.
because the guy's busy.
Yeah.
If she doesn't bring back boba, like for example, if I'm the guy and she doesn't bring back boba, I'd be like, yo, what's up with this girl? Like, I bought so many things for her already.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then she can't even bring back a boba? That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's
It's the thought that should matter. But then, like,
yeah.
how they see it, they would be like, oh, well, the guy should pay for everything and he didn't pay me for this. So I'm not going to buy it for him. So I think that compliance test is actually a good indicator to see if the girl is actually really into you.
100%. Yeah. I teach that
If
a
it's
lot.
genuine love or
Yeah.
interest.
Yeah. I get some backlash from a lot of girls. It's like, well, you're just testing us. You're just testing us. That's kind of messed up. What? You don't test us? You don't test us? You're telling me you never tested me. You never ask yourself, how can I figure out if this guy's a red flag? Yo,
how can I figure out if he's gonna pay for more meals and not be stingy?
Yeah, right.
A date. Let's bring him out on a date.
Exactly.
Let him ask me out.
Yeah.
And then when we go out together, let's see if he pays. That's a fucking test right there.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I've gotten flack for teaching compliance tests. It's like, well, listen, we do it to each other.
I think it's natural, dude.
Yeah, because you're trying to figure each other out. I think it's a good way to figure each other out during the dating process, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the, I wouldn't say it's the best way, but it's one of the ways you can kind of figure each other out.
Here's a compliance test that I do. I didn't know there was this compliance test. You know, he's actually being my coach, just being on the podcast. But anyways, if you do need like dating coach advice, you could ask this guy directly.
Yeah.
But anyways, I would do compliance tests where sometimes the bill comes, right? And then I paid for probably 10 meals, and I would just wait, and I would just keep like talking with her. I just let the bill sit, and I just keep talking.
Yeah, that's a compliance test. See what happens.
I'm just waiting. I'm just like seeing if she'll pick it up,
or at least make the effort to.
If she doesn't pick it up, I'd be like, this girl is unappreciative. And girls that are unappreciative like that, I'd be like, I would be way less willing to spend even more money on you in the future. So it's not because I'm a stingy guy. It's I'm trying to see if you're even worth the money that I should spend on. It's so funny that we went from like talking about passport bros to like now we're talking about like women in America itself.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of these passport bros, they get finessed that way too. Right? They get finessed that way too. It's when they go overseas.
But you know, my experience, I was a passport bro for a bit. I went to Taiwan. And that was when COVID happened. So I went to Taiwan, and Taiwan's more like America, but more like Chinese version. It's like the Chinese version of America, right? China and Taiwan are different. But like if you go to China, totally different. So these girls are more like Americans, and they're not like as easy as Southeast Asians. Okay. But the reason why I liked going there as a passport bro is because they would have so much courtesy to just go and pay for like the meals. They would even fight you for the bill. And it's not because they're scared that, I don't want you to expect anything, blah, blah. It's not even just because of that. It's just because
courtesy.
Them as a person, they want to have that equality.
Correct.
They're like, I think I even had some girls that went like, it's your time that you came out, and I'm very happy that you came out, made this time for me. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. I want to bring a chick like that from Taiwan back over here.
When was the last time an American girl said that to you? Never.
The thing is, I will be fair. There's a good amount of girls that have said that in America. You just have to know how to find those right ones.
That's good for you.
I've actually had more of those.
Well, recently, I'll say recently.
I would say it's a lot of dates that I've been on. More girls, like maybe 80%, had that courtesy on dates.
Oh, that's really good
in America.
Good for you.
Versus like the 20% where they were either let's say half. 10% was.
Yeah, you got better game than me, man. I'm picking the wrong girls.
10% were straight up just like, you're gonna pay for my meal, and they just like let the bill sit. The other 10% was just like kind of in the middle. They would let me pay, but they wouldn't really say much like thank you or anything.
I forgot. It's because you date Asian girls. That's why.
Yeah, correct. I will say Asian American girls in America, they're probably. What do you date? Like you date like Latina girls?
White and Latina,
Okay. I would probably say they're a little bit less stingy than like, and have more etiquette than white or Latina or just any other girl.
I can agree to that, and that's from personal experience.
Actually, I feel like Latina girls are chill though.
It depends. If it's like whitewashed Latina girls, then nah. Like
same thing with like ABG girls, right? Asian baby girls.
Yeah.
Those girls I never date. I usually date the fobs that are from Taiwan.
Oh, okay, then that's understandable.
I have dated a chick that was from China, right?
Yeah.
And then I was telling her about my podcast. I was like, yo, like what we talk about is like the equality of paying and some other things. Like I even talked about like dating women in China. If they're past 30, they're considered like
leftover,
right?
Yeah.
I told her about that. And her comment was about the whole like equal paying thing, right? She was like, Are you stingy?
Ooh,
She straight up asked me that.
Damn.
And I was like, what the hell? We were at Panera Bread, right?
Yeah.
I just bought my salad and I just finished eating it all. I was like, I'm out, bro. I think she was probably pissed off that I didn't even pay for her too.
Okay.
But that's a compliance test. I was like,
see how she would react, right?
Yeah, because I knew she was from China.
Yeah,
I had China girls that were straight up like trying to get me out like on a date, like expensive restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm like, first date here? I just fucking didn't even want to go on a date with her anymore.
Yo, I got this funny story to tell you. So when I was in Brazil, one of my exes, on our first date, she wanted me to take her to like a really, really expensive restaurant in Brazil.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you want to go here on our first date? She's like, and she was straight up with me. Okay. She was so honest. She's like, I want to go here. I've never been here because I'm broke.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. At least she was honest with me, right? She's like, I am broke. At least she was honest. She's like, I've never had an experience like this in my life before.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I gave her points. I'm like, oh, at least she's upfront. She wasn't trying to, try to finesse me or anything, right? Because she's basically implying like, hey, if we go, you're going to pay because I have no money. Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me see where this goes, right? So on our first date, remember, I know she's broke, okay? On our first date, I took her for acai and then I paid for it. I was like, okay, I'll pay for it. And then in the middle of our date,
she's going to pay for it when you're broke and a loser, bro.
Acai's cheap, it's cheap. So anyways, in the middle of our date, she goes, hey, I'm really hungry. Can we grab some lunch? I said, okay, sure. So we went to grab some lunch. I made sure I was in front of her, right?
Yeah.
I paid for my food and I left. I went to sit down and she still had her tray of food. And I wanted to see what she was going to do. Because I know she's poor, right? I know she's poor. So she has one of two options. Either she figures out how she's going to pay for that herself.
And this is in Brazil.
Yes.
Okay.
Or she's going to come to me and ask me for money to pay for it. I was curious. Like, I was going to pay for it regardless. But I wanted to see what she was going to do. She ended up paying it for her. She ended up paying it herself. So I was like, oh, damn.
And she still talked to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't throw a fit. She didn't say, why didn't you pay for it? None of, she didn't react. She just got her food and sat down.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about like American dating, like dating girls here in America versus like dating girls, being a passport bro and dating girls there, right?
Yeah.
I do think my personal experience, I think overall dating girls overseas, they're more fair about this.
Yeah, they are.
Than like girls over here. Girls over here, I feel like there's this awkward tension that we always sense as guys. That like if we don't pay, she will probably like not want to talk to us.
Correct. Even if she offers to pay.
And over there with Taiwan, Thailand, Philippines, I went to Philippines by the way too. So this trip, like last month, I went to Thailand and Philippines at the same time. So even if it's like Taiwan, Philippines, Thailand, any of these, anything that's abroad, I feel like they would want to still show some sort of courtesy.
Yes.
And you don't really get that feeling over here. Over here, there's just like they're waiting and they're waiting for you to pay, or they kind of side eye you if like you pay and then you just leave. Like for example, I'm buying boba, right? I buy my boba and I just leave. And she has to like buy her own. And you could feel the aura. The aura is not just because we're insecure as men over here.
Yeah.
You could just feel it.
Oh, yeah. I was really confused once. I was talking to this chick It's like a friend of a friend of a friend. I don't really know her, just an associate. And we had the same exact conversation. And I told her, it's the gesture, right? At least offer to pay.
Yeah.
You know, at least offer to pay. And she goes, I do offer to pay. I said, okay, have you ever paid? She's like, yeah, when I offered to pay, sometimes I actually paid. And I go, okay, did you go on a second date with that guy? She goes, no. I'm like, why not? She's like, well, just because I offer doesn't mean you should take me up on it. I'm like, what? I'm like,
Wait,
are
this is
you?
an American girl?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And I go, what are you talking about? You offered, and he took you up on your offer, right? He's like, well, he shouldn't do that. He shouldn't, even if I offered. I'm like, what the hell's the point of offering in the first place? Yeah, so it's that logic, right? That logic, you'll never win.
Yeah.
You never win with that type of logic.
That's like setting out for failure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like, for example, when like some girls, they go like, oh, I want you to tell me if you sleep with another girl, like I'll be okay with it. And then you actually do it when you guys are in a situation.
and then she's not okay with it.
And then she's like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, correct.
I can't do
correct.
this.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit.
Yeah, you'll never win, right? You'll never, I'm glad you brought this up about the whole power dynamic, paying and stingy and all that stuff. I envy my parents' generation. Let me ask you, when you go to a restaurant, isn't it the mom and pop owned shops have the best food usually, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I envy that type of relationship that they have because my parents' generation, everyone was poor, right? I'm poor, you're poor, but it's okay. We're poor together. I have strengths and weaknesses. You have strengths and weaknesses. Even though we're poor together, we're going to make something happen. We're going to build something together. All those restaurant owners, those mom and pop shops,
Yeah.
that's their mentality. I'm poor, you're poor, but we're going to work together as a team and we're going to build something together.
So are you saying that like because the standard got a lot higher, that now there's more money just flowing everywhere? Everyone owns like a phone. Back then, owning like even like a television was like considered a luxury. Because the standard overall with money just got higher. Now girls are expecting more from guys, and it's not just like some simple love. It's now a love that revolves around so much complexity. For example, is this guy gonna pay for me?
Yeah.
Right.
A lot of conditional love, not unconditional. A lot of
in that
conditions,
sense, then are we still saying that these low tier password bros, they have the right in a sense to go overseas to go find these better women because the women here are more conditional love?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have no problem with passport bros because I'm a passport bro myself, right?
Yeah.
But at least I'm making efforts every day to better myself instead of just, sitting around fucking off, doing nothing, just, women should just accept me for me, who I am right now, right? It's like, no, every time I have these conversations with myself, it's like, okay, I'm going to push myself as much as I can on a daily, weekly basis. Okay. Because I don't accept who I am right now. Like I said, the last podcast, I admit it. I consider myself a loser.
Yeah.
I don't accept
okay,
it.
So you consider yourself a loser?
Yeah.
Okay. So for example, a low tier passport bro, he's a loser. He wants to improve. So that's okay for him.
That's okay.
Just like
as long
go out and try to find a girl over there as a shortcut when he still hasn't improved to like a standard level of a loser or just like a higher tier passport bro.
Yeah, as long as he's making efforts, right? Like I said, it's okay if you're a loser. It is not okay for you to choose to stay being a loser, right? Because that is a conscious choice. You saying, I'm not going to improve myself. I'm just going to go overseas, try and take the shortcut, and women should just accept me for who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a problem with like just guys in general, okay? Like low tier guys.
Okay.
No, I'm not even talking about like passport bros. Yeah. I have a problem with the guys. They know they're a loser.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about like the guys who just like blame every girl, right? I'm talking about like guys who they're a loser. Yeah. They know they're a loser.
Yeah.
And they try to improve.
Yeah.
But their rate of speed is slow as hell.
Yeah.
You have to look at your rate as well. Like if you're a loser and your rate of improving is still very slow, you're staying a loser for the rest of your fucking life. And I don't think that type of guy should be going over to Southeast Asia to go find these girls, because that time at that point you should be understanding or figuring out a way to increase your rate of speed to become a winner, instead of being a loser and having a slow ass rate of speed.
If you
For
have,
example, I come from a engineering background, right? I always like to use this example. So y equals 1/2 x versus y equals 2x. If you draw that on a graph, for example, you put x equals 10, right? For the one that's 1/2 x, that would be 5. Y equals 5 at that point. But if you have a y equals 2x, then at 10, it'd be 20x.
Yeah, much higher.
A much better example is if you have a parabola graph, then you're exponentially improving.
Correct.
But if you're improving at a 1/2 x speed, you should not be becoming a passport bro. You should be staying in your country.
Yeah.
You should not go out at all. You like all these people, they always go like, "Oh, Panda, but why can't they go out and have some fun? You're prohibiting them for having fun?"
No.
You're too strict, man. Like, and then some of these people would be like, "I can't have some fun? Like, I can't rest? I can't vacation once in a while?" No, you can't. Because you've been a loser for many years.
You can't afford to have fun. You can't afford to have fun.
You should be figuring out, why am I so slow in improving myself?
Correct.
If you staying at 30K, what's minimum wage right now? It's like what, $15 an hour or what, in California?
Yeah.
If you staying at like 35K, even 40K,
Yeah.
I would even say 45K, and you're close to 30, like above 25, close to 30, you got to improve. You got to improve your fucking rate of speed.
Yeah.
Because like if you going out to like vacations once, twice a year, even one time a year, dude, that's too much. You should be understanding what ways should you be improving. My dad always said this. Like, he said that if you're not working right now, all of your time should be spent as if you're working full time to apply to jobs.
Yes.
So the same thing, I think is concurrent, right? Or not concurrent. I think it's correlative. So I think what it is that if you're making only 35K, 40K, 45K, whatever, right, a year, you should be spending your extra time figuring out, how can I improve myself? So when I apply to new jobs, I could get a pay raise. I could get a better job.
Yeah.
I could figure out better ways to make money. If you're fucking going out even once a year, once a year for like what, 2 weeks at a time, well, you get PTO for 2 weeks from your crappy ass job. I think that's like the average, right?
Yeah.
Each year, probably you work like a corporate job, you get at least 2 weeks. Okay. So if you take 2 weeks off, you're not pushing more to better yourself. When, for example, a guy who makes 100K plus, for example, like me, I make 100K plus. What the fuck am I doing on my weekends? I'm not even going out to drink.
Yeah.
I see these losers, low tier guys, not even passport pros, going out to drink, going out to the clubs, or just going out to have fun and chill. And whenever I talk to them about it, they're like, I can't have some fun once in a while? Bro, your once in a while is like every other week at least.
Yeah.
At least. And then you go out on vacation for 2 weeks?
Well, here's the thing.
Crazy.
I'll tell these guys, it's okay for you to have fun, but you better be able to accept that this is going to be your reality for the rest of your life. If you're okay with this.
No, but the thing is, these guys, they think it's just fun once in a while. And they're like, I grind like every... Bro, you are losing to a guy like me. I make 100K plus.
Yeah.
And I still grind on the weekends.
Yeah.
Like, run this podcast on the weekends. Yeah. I'm learning constantly.
Yeah.
What did I just do before this podcast? What did I do last night? What did I say I was doing, Sebastian?
Oh, you were working.
What was I doing?
Last night? You told me you were working, right?
Yeah, the camera stuff?
Yeah.
I was setting up the cameras, right?
Yeah.
So just a little bit of FY, me and Sebastian, or Controvert and Sebastian, Controvert and Gallant Gentleman, we're partnered up, and we're going to be filming a lot more content together, because we're trying to help men out there who are lacking in like the dating community. And if you're having trouble, you could definitely reach out to Sebastian. But we're partnered together, and because of that, I invested $3,000 into getting a professional camera, right? And last night I didn't sleep till like 3 a.m. because I was just configuring the camera settings. And throughout the week, I've been watching like what cameras to get, just like researching some stuff, right?
Yeah.
I finally got the camera and got it set up. What did we do today?
Work, set up camera, film ads.
And while we were filming like ads, what was I doing? Like I was stressed, right?
Yeah.
I was stressed because I was like,
I just flew in, by the way, guys. You know, I didn't get any sleep. I took a 4-hour nap on the plane and we just started grinding.
yeah.
This is us, yeah.
And while I was filming for this guy, I don't have professional camera experience, right? But why was I so frustrated, right? Do you remember?
No. I know you're frustrated. Well, you're trying to make sure everything was in order.
Every
right?
time, remember you'd ask, "Oh, my bad. Did I like walk too fast?" What did I say?
You said, "Oh, it's my mistake." Oh, I messed up too. You said I messed up a little bit too.
I took accountability.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out how could I improve myself so that I could become a better cinematographer, better cameraman, right? And so why I'm saying all this is not to like boast or anything, but I'm trying to say that there's guys like this who are constantly grinding and they make way more than you. So you need to pick up your fucking shit and stop saying, "Oh, it's once in a while I'm having fun." No, it's not. Look at how much you're just like chilling. Every day you come back from your corporate job, what do? You're on your phone. You're on your phone and you go like, that's what I do to wind down. Or you fucking go on like OF. You go on like play Counter-Strike. You go play some video games. You think it's winding down because you had a long day. But what you're actually doing is not even developing anything. You come back from your job, you did autopilot mode stuff, and then now you're doing more autopilot mode stuff. You haven't developed your brain at all. You're losing it, right? So I feel like that's a majority of men out there.
A majority, yeah.
Why do you think a majority of men in general, or people in general, they go paycheck to paycheck?
Yeah.
Because dumb investment of time like this.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew Tate said this best. In the world of men, it's player versus player.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's, especially nowadays, the world's becoming more and more hyper competitive. If you don't have that drive to try to outwork your competitors, you're just going to get left in the dust.
I disagree with that. I feel like the world is becoming less hyper competitive because of these incels, these dudes.
No, I meant like the dating world. Oh, you're talking about the world in general.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I think it's not hyper competitive. I think it's more so hyper judgmental. You know, I think because like,
well, the hyper judgmental can lead to hyper competitive.
Sure.
Yeah,
like the whole like standard of dating increased because everyone makes more now, and they're not as poor as our parents' generation. But also, I do feel like feminism has made dating much harder because now women look at this and they're like, well, man should pay for me, but at the same time, he should like suck on my toes. So yeah, it's hyper judgmental in that sense. So being successful in dating is very tough, but comparing guy to guy, there's a lot more incel guys out there who don't know how to do stuff because they're on their phones all day. And in our parents' generation, they didn't have phones to just like scroll endlessly. Dude, I know guys who just do that for like hours at a time.
I'm glad you brought this up. So I get asked this question by my students all the time. They say, Sebastian, what is the number one key indicator? As a coach, you've been doing this for years. You've been doing pickup for years. As a coach, what is the number one key indicator that these incel guys go from incel to becoming successful men? What is the number one key indicator? There's only one. And they all have it in common.
Accountability.
That's one of them, but that's not the one. They all have in common. It's purely just consistent practice.
Oh, yeah.
So here's the crazy thing.
True.
Okay.
That's more important, actually.
Yeah. So
You need to actually implement.
So here's I'll give you my numbers, my stats. Okay, as a coach, I've coached a little bit over 100 students. Okay, out of every one of my students, when they go on tour with me or any of my programs, I have 100% success rate with them in terms of what they want to achieve during the tour or the programs. You know, let's just say one of the students say, "Oh, I want to overcome my approach anxiety." Okay. And then some other students say, "Oh, I want to get laid," or whatever, right? So everyone has different goals while they're on tour, on the programs. Okay. And I have 100% success rate. But after the programs, guess what the success rate becomes? Once I'm not there with them, I'm not holding their hands, I'm not coaching them, I'm not giving them feedback. Okay. Out of 100 students,
Like 25%.
not even close, man.
What?
Out of 100 students, how many start excelling after the program? Afterwards.
What Sebastian is saying to all the people who are thinking of signing up is that you have to consistently have a coach. AKA Sebastian.
Well, either listen,
plug.
there's two methods. Either the first one he mentioned, either consistently hire me or consistently practice on your own. Those are your two options. Okay. It's 5%.
5%.
5%. 5%.
It's not surprising though.
So out of the 100 students, after I'm done coaching them, only 5% only 5% become successful. And out of those 5, they all have one thing in common. They all consistently practiced. And here's the thing. I tell this to my students all the time. If you consistently practice and you're not getting any results, I will coach you for free. Because I'll tell you what, because I feel bad, because that used to be me. I used to go out there for 2 years straight. I used to go out there by myself, go to a bar, go to a park, go to whatever venue that's full of girls. I would keep practicing, practice, grind. What ends up happening? Rejection.
By the way, he had more than 2,000 or 3,000
rejection. Minimum.
In 1 year?
2 years, over the span of 3,000 in the span of 2 years, minimum. In a row, right? It wasn't like, oh, I got a number in between or I got a date in between. No. It was 3,000 in a row.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was getting destroyed. So when I see a student put in the work and he's not getting any results, I empathize. But the ones I don't empathize for is the ones that don't practice and expect results, or they're very inconsistent in their practice and they expect results. I'm like, nope. I have no empathy for you. None.
But I think that's why like most men out there, or just people in general, they need a coach. Like for example, like gyms, right? You see people signing up for coach programs, not because they don't know how to do the exercise. Maybe there's like some outliers where they're just like, oh, I just want to learn the exercises first and I can do it myself. But most of them, they keep that coach because they don't have the ability to keep that
themselves
consistency
accountable,
and being accountable, right?
Yeah.
So like they need someone to push them. And so if they sign up for this and they're paying for this, they're like, I have to do this. And I'm not trying to be like that guy who's like, you should sign up and shameless plug, but legit, I think there's a lot of men that really need dating coaches.
Yeah.
Like not because like dating coach industry needs to make more money, but legit, so many of these guys, look, I'll break down the math. Okay. If you're spending hundreds of dollars on a girl for the first date and you don't have anything, not even a smash, not even any conversion rate where she becomes your girlfriend, nothing of that sort of matter, you could have used that 400
for a coaching session.
You could have had a coaching session. And moving forward, if you have thousands of dollars even, right, thousands of dollars is fucking extreme. Like I would not ever pay $1,000 for like a dating program, but most men need it. I think most men need it because if you pay $1,000 for a dating coach program and you find the love of your life.
Yeah, we've had that before.
Think about it. Okay, if you, for example, date the wrong girl, you marry her, she takes half your assets, you lost way more than $1,000.
Correct, yeah.
If you pick up on some ideas where it's like compliance test, I want to compliance test this girl, qualify her.
That'll save you a lot of money, by the way.
That would save you a lot of money. I'm not even kidding. Okay, so my friend explained this to me recently. Okay, he was like, you should pay for Hinge X. And I always told myself, I would never do that. I never paid for a dating coach program.
Yeah.
I don't plan to. Don't even plan to pay for like dating shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you should do it because you actually get recommended for more. By the way, Hinge X is like the platinum version for Hinge dating app, right?
Right.
He's like, you get recommended better looking girls. They're better quality. They're nicer. And they talk to you. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, look at this. He showed me. I'm like, same thing. He's a short, fat dude.
Okay.
And he's getting these girls that are actually messaging him.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, these girls are pretty cute.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like, yeah, you should get it. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm still not convinced. He's like, dude, think about it. If you get a girl that's like cute and she's more feminine, you save yourself so much more money. And I'm like, you know what? Then I started putting it into perspective. Like if I ended up dating a girl, she wasn't that cute and she wanted me to pay for everything and we end up divorcing, I lost way more than that $100 that I put in, 120 I think, into Hinge X for 6 months. I mean, I would even say you pay Hinge X for like, this is not sponsored.
right, not sponsored.
I'm only sponsoring Gallant Gentleman. But I'm just trying to say this because like if you do that math, right, it kind of makes sense. So that's why I'm saying like if you're a low tier guy, you should at least do some sort of thing to push yourself to be better. And don't be like those guys who just go and be a passport bro thinking that that's the solution.
The solution, right? Correct.
Yeah.
So I'll openly admit this. Do you actually need a coach? Okay, it depends on how you look at it. So when you hire a coach, what we do is we save you time. We expedite the process, the learning curve, right? We expedite it. Now, can you learn all this on your own? Absolutely, 100%. You can learn this on your own, just like any other skill in life.
Are you going to?
Exactly. Are you going to? Right? So
and plus, okay, here's another thing. I'm very conscientious of my issues. So whatever issues I'm not good with, I know I'm not good at. Like I know my flaws. For example, League of Legends. Okay, I don't know if you've ever played League of Legends.
God, I hate
There's
that
so
game.
many people that go like, no, it's your fault.
Game.
No, it's your fault.
Right.
And no one ever takes accountability.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I always, a lot of the times, I'm like trying to see their point of view. I'm very conscientious, like trying to understand. Like you know what? There's so many angles that you could look at it.
Yeah.
And I go like, you know what? It's my fault.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people would have that accountability.
Yeah.
It's not even just accountability, but the conscientiousness. You have to know what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
And if no one ever tells you, you might never know unless you're very conscientious.
Yes.
So that's why I never signed up for these programs because I know what I need to do to become better. Right.
Yeah. Self-awareness, right? High levels of self-awareness. Yeah. A lot of these guys don't have that level of self-awareness. So yeah, having a coach definitely helps. Having self-awareness itself is also a skill, right? So if you can develop that, okay, good for you. Maybe you don't need a coach.
So some people
right?
are not born with that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. So, and with coaching, there's usually a negative stigma behind it. Like, oh yeah, what if this coach is a scam? Unfortunately, yeah, a majority of coaches out there are scammers. I've been in this industry for a while. Jeff's been in it for almost 10 plus years. And I would say 90% of them are straight scammers. Yeah, that's what I hated about the industry. And that's why I started my own company. The easiest ways to spot out a scammer is number one, if they're successful with women, is it because they have a lot of characteristic traits that are working for them? Or do they have a lot of characteristic traits that are working against them? Right? So who would you be more impressed by? Okay, if you were to pick two coaches side by side. One coach that's 6'2", good looking, jacked, built, has a lot of money, or the coach that's 5'6", broke, no money, average looking or below average looking. They both have similar levels of success. Which one would you be more impressed by? Right?
Yeah.
So it's you have to look at the coach himself as a person first. Okay, look at him as a person. That's number one. Number two is, I'll say this openly. One of the coaches I worked for, okay, when I first started this industry, when he first hired me, he was like, hey, yo, me and you, let's go out and game. Let's do it. I'm like, yo, hell yeah, let's go. You know, this guy, he's the boss, right? He should know his stuff. Man, we're going to have a good time. We're going to get a lot of girls. Yo, his game was straight up trash. I'm like, you're supposed to be better than me. You're my boss. And you're out here teaching other men how to be successful with women when you're terrible with women.
Sebastian, I think when you mention like look at their personality, you also have to look at their personality. Are they just a good marketer?
Oh yes.
See, I think that's the thing with Gallant Gentleman.
Yeah.
Like you guys are not that much exposed because of the marketing, and that's why Controvert, like we want to strive to help with that.
I appreciate that.
We see how Gallant Gentleman is, how down to earth they are. They're not actually. You guys are not actually like those types of dating coaches who are just assholes. And I've always not been fond of dating coaches. Because they give this such pompous attitude, like they're the shit. I'm like, bro, you probably only had success because you're good looking. And they're usually like good looking guys. I'm not saying you're ugly, by the way.
Oh, that's okay. Listen.
I'm just saying you're really down to earth guy.
I've been called every name in the book. Okay, recently there's a new one, mophead. Okay, that's a new one. I got called a mophead. Listen,
that was on our video.
Listen, I've been called every name in the book. It's okay. Whatever you say can't hurt me, so it's okay. All good. All good.
We're going to end it off here. Thank you guys for watching the Controvert podcast. Appreciate the talk.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. As always.
If you guys want to check out Gallant Gentleman, make sure to check out his Instagram, DM Sebastian. And then I think we also have a code, right? So
we have a discount code for all of our services.
For Controvert. And it was a great talk about low-tier passive bros. I do think that most of these guys, most men in general in the world, they do need some sort of coaching, and they do need some sort of like accountability.
And don't be ashamed of it either. Oh yeah, and also if you're in the New York area, I do free pro bono coaching. Okay, so it's like, so now you can see for yourself if I'm a scam or not, for free, by the way. So message me, DM me, and we can arrange something if you're in the New York area.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
You guys hear that? It's raining in Pattaya, Thailand. And the fact that it's 5 p.m., raining, this whole place is empty. It's fitness room. Just goes to show that there's a bunch of fat lards, passport bros who come here in hopes of just obtaining nice quality Thailand girls. 5 p.m., the primal time to be working out. There's no one, just us. So this just goes to prove that the passport bro movement is filled with all these losers who just come abroad and they're like, let me get a nice Asian woman. But then they don't even work on themselves. Look at this. Empty. Raining. Empty. Crazy, man. All these dudes who don't even work on themselves, they're like, let me just find an escape by just coming here so that I can get some girls easily with my money, because US dollars is so much and spending just Thai baht is very easy. It's nothing. I'm like a king here. I just spend money and girls come at me. Losers. Loser passport bros. Like, I understand if you're a man who has worked your way up and you come here looking shredded as successful, and you come here to get the highest quality girl, not by finding an escape, but if you just come here and you're like, let me just throw my money like an idiot because I have so much money, because American money is like so much compared to Thai baht. I'm like a king here. I work out like spending money like a king. Then you're a loser. All these dudes in America just bitching, oh my god, I cannot find a good girl. Oh my god, come to Thailand and now I can get so many girls. But what you need is to get this. Get this shredded. And then you can get the girl of your dreams. But if you're just there bitching every single day, you can't get any girls, the girls in America are fucking trash. You're a loser. Come here. Let me get a massage. Let me get a massage for like 500 Thai baht. Let me get a massage for 500 Thai baht. And then, hey, she can give me a happy ending. Loser. Come to the gym in Thailand. Still swole as shit. Shredded as shit. Not even have a masseuse. That is a true king. Coming here, I'm a king. Spend my American days. I say this because we see all these foreigners on the street just with girls, right? I'm like, bro, are you that much of a failure in your own home country that you have to come here and you just rely on your money to get the girls that are not even like really girls that like you for you, but just like you for your money? Or are just like, and just come here just, for service for you? Oh my god, it's fucking daytime and then we see like these guys with girls. I'm like,